everybody, and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. So exciting to get to do this again and see what is in store for us at all different waterholes across Africa in different locations. My name is Amy, and I'll be with you this morning for the next about 3 hours. We get to enjoy what nature has to offer us. Just see this giraffe now trying to come get a drink. Or it's so amusing to see how they bend down and just have a look at their legs. Oh, got there. Also a nice long line of zebra approaching as well. Alright, well while these zebra come to get some water for themselves, let's have a look at what the weather is doing at our different locations. There you go, nice warm days all round there for the most part. I think summer is officially on its way. Tina, thank you so much. It's very good to be here. With all these zebra around this waterhole, you can see why they call it dazzle. All their stripes all together looks quite incredible actually. And there's even more still coming. Seems like the giraffe will have to take a back seat to all these zebras coming to drink. They're going to have to wait for them to move off before they can lower their heads and get some water for themselves. Yes, Top Cat, it is. It is very, very interesting to watch giraffes taking a drink. I agree. I was actually saying just yesterday, I think, that every giraffe has a different way of doing it, which is so interesting to watch. Some keep their front legs straight, some bend them, um, and they always look quite clumsy. Um, no matter what they try and do, they always look like they can topple over at the drop of a hat. Seems like these zebra are getting a bit agitated with each other. You could hear them calling there as more come and try and get space at the waterhole, so others are pushed away, and then they're kicking up quite a fuss. Rashawn, you want to know a little bit more about me and my favorite animal and locations, I think. So I guided on Ngala a few years ago. I presented on WildEarth there briefly, and since then, I now live just outside of the town of Hoedspruit with my husband, and yeah, loving living life in the bush still. And favorite locations, so difficult to choose. We of course love the Kruger National Park. I have a passion for the Lowveld and the area that we find ourselves in here. But sure, based on the Waterhole cameras that we have available, I was actually just saying when I was chatting to Kulu, who's in final control today, how this particular waterhole in Kenya just seems to be so busy all the time. It's unbelievable. And there's so many animals that are obviously drawn to the location. So we'll see what happens in the next few hours. But there's been quite a variety of different animals that have come to drink here. And then the other location that I really enjoy a lot to look at is the Okukuyo in Namibia. That's an area I haven't visited personally, but I think just such a stunning landscape and so different to what we have here in South Africa, with those white rocks, and it's just incredible to me to see just how many animals are actually around there. It almost looked like the zebras heard what I was saying and looked at me. That was quite funny.
Did you hear? The schools are out. Yep, it's time for the school holidays, and WildEarth is celebrating with special content just for kids. Join us from the 21st to the 25th of August for 5 days of fun. Our guides will be taking on a number of survival tasks, and together we'll learn how to survive in the wilderness, build things, and have fun in the wild too. WildEarth Kids, it's in your nature.
Looks like almost all the zebra have moved off now. So we'll have to see if those giraffe make their way back, or if some other animals will come and have a drink here as well. So the last of the zebra seem to be moving off, And as they were moving off, so the one giraffe seems to be coming closer to the water again. Let's see if he'll take his chance to have a drink now that it's a bit quieter. You can just see how cautious this giraffe is. Always checking, looking left to right, ears forward, making sure he hasn't missed anything. When the giraffe comes to drink, it's one of their most vulnerable positions that they can take. So they need to make sure if they're going to do it that they are absolutely sure there's no danger around. Oh, Sue wants to know what the small birds are on the ground. Now, there are a few flying around, so we'll have to take a closer look to see exactly. I did see some doves flying. They just landed there on the left-hand side. Those looked like doves also coming down to drink, actually. But I think this giraffe is going to make his move. There are also oxpeckers that are actually on the giraffe's back. The one did just drop down to the ground as well. Also coming probably for some water. Oh wow, we've got all three. Oh, something spooked that one. Buffalo, you're sending your greetings from Cape Town. That's wonderful. Hello. Welcome to the show. I hope you enjoyed it. How wonderful that you can sit in Cape Town and watch what's happening in Kenya. That's amazing. I see some more animals appearing now. Another giraffe on the right, eland in the back, and some springbuck or Thompson's gazelle just walking in the background there. Oh, another giraffe as well. Oh wow, even more giraffe coming. This is so beautiful. I think waiting their turn to have a drink when a space opens up.
Get ready for your daily dose of African wildlife magic. Be enchanted by the intimate moments shared by the animals as they drink, play, and interact in their natural habitat. With our daily wildlife videos, you'll experience the thrill of safari adventures without ever having to leave your seat. Let the wild adventure unfold right before your eyes. Africam, always live, always wild.
For a second there, I thought that giraffe wasn't going to make it to the water. He was bending down so low. So Ali is telling us that where she lives, there was a baby giraffe that was born without spots. Now, Ali, I'm not sure where you live, but that is very interesting to know that that is something that can happen without a giraffe that is born without markings. I guess inevitably, when it comes to things like markings on animals, um, the possibility of a recessive gene or something like that occurring where the markings are either extremely faint or altogether not there is possible. If you could let us know where exactly that is, that would be really interesting. I'd love to read up more about it. Speaking of markings, it's so interesting to look at these giraffes that are standing here, and every single one has a completely different style of pattern on them. The one on the right almost looks like very feathery leaves. The one in the middle, it's just walking away now. Quite big markings with very small, thin, lighter stripes in between. And comparing these Maasai giraffe to the southern giraffe, which we get in South Africa, there is quite noticeably the difference in the marking patterns. And so one is left. I wonder what he's going to decide to do, whether now is the time for him to come forward and take his turn to drink, or if he's going to move off with the others. one peeping in again from the right, ruminating at the same time. You can just see there the lower jaw moving. I just see some eland coming now from the right. I saw a few walking in the background earlier. I think they were just waiting for their chance to come and get some water once everything had sort of died down a little bit. But as we watch them come forward, let's head across to Jamala and see what's happening there. Beautiful, some elephants coming down, it looks like, to the waterhole. I must apologize for any construction sounds that you do hear in the background. Oh wow, and there's a whole lot more. Beautiful. It looks like the ones that are standing there have already had their drink. You see the tips of their trunks and the feet are already a different color. A few splashes on their side. Looks like there are still some that are drinking. I can imagine, with the temperatures that we saw earlier being the size of an elephant, how welcome some cool water must be. Oh, you can just see the little one there on the far right of the screen. It's being covered up by everyone now. Looks like those elephants are moving off now. It seems like there's a little group of warthogs that have also come down to drink on the far side of the dam there. And an impala. Oh, lovely. Still one elephant drinking. Annie, you are 100% correct, and I agree with you. The impala do camouflage perfectly, actually. Oh, just look at that younger elephant on the other side reacting to the impalas. Um, it is, and it's the way that their coat, the true tone with the dark on the top and the light at the bottom, often blend into the exact tones of the bush. So if you even see on that hill that we're looking at right now, you've got sort of a reddish tone going into more of a grey color, going into more red again, going into more light grey. If you look at the bush line, there's often darker tone, lighter tone, and that is why the impala then are able to blend in so beautifully into the environment and camouflage completely. Especially when they are in between bushes. We have a buffalo also making his way down towards the waterhole, it looks like. I wonder if he's just going to have a drink or maybe have a nice mud bath today.
We love all the support. We read all the comments, and now we want to acknowledge our biggest fans. Do you know when Ribbon was seen last? Or the names of June's cubs? Do you remember the last time we were up close and personal with an elephant? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you are in for a treat. WildEarth's Fan of the Month. We are looking for you. For more details, make sure to read our monthly mailer and keep an eye out on our social media pages. WildEarth, it's in your nature.
So that buffalo did indeed make his way down to the waterhole and is currently having the mud bath of his life, it looks like. Incredibly good time scratching his neck. Oh, there he goes on his back again. I was saying in the break, he's even making me want to have a mud bath. That's how much he's enjoying himself. Oh. Oh, some friends are joining him. And just imagine for these buffaloes, big, heavy, dark animal. They are often bothered by ticks and parasites, and they don't perform allo grooming on each other, such as impala. So for them to come and have a really nice scratch in the mud and be able to really cake that mud into all the nooks and crannies of their bodies, and also just have a scratch in all the places that they don't normally get to on their own, and then that mud will dry, and you might even see them actually move off and find a nice little rubbing post where that dried mud will cake off and pull off with that some of the ticks and parasites that have been irritating them. Not to mention actually just keeping them cool as well in the day. Alright, so we'll leave these buffalo bulls to carry on drinking and mud wallowing, and let's have a look and see what's happening at Tau Lodge. Beautiful mix of zebra, wildebeest, looks like some impala as well in the background there. Oh no, that might actually be springbok. And a spoonbill in the water, vigorously hunting for something. You can see how it's walking and moving its bill back and forth. Seems with the heat that the waterholes really are the place to be. But let's link back to Otunyo and see what's happening there. The giraffes are still here, but an elephant has joined them. Also coming for its drink. Elephants are the one animal that I think I could watch all day and still find them absolutely fascinating. I love to watch how they use their trunk. You can just see how intentional and specific they are with it, which is amazing. Interesting dynamic there to observe how, as the one that is now drinking at the back walked in, the one that was there moved away and around and came to the other side. I wonder if there's a little bit of a dominance between them. The one that is facing us now does look a little bit older. You can just see above the eyes how sunken in those temples are, in the forehead. A few more rips and nicks on the ears. The tusks are a little bit longer, a little bit thicker, and possibly a little bit taller as well than the other one. So as he approached, the other one wanted to get out of his way. Another interesting point is to notice is have a look at the zebra that are behind these elephants. Right in the beginning when we started this morning, there was some giraffe drinking, and those zebra had no problem coming up, pushing in between them and chasing them off, as it were. But these zebra are far more hesitant to come in between these elephants. They are hanging back and not really so confident to come and drink now with these much larger animals drinking here at the moment.
Are you WildEarth's biggest fan? Well, we have a brand new competition for you. Join our naturalists on Safari Live and listen out for weekly questions. To enter the competition, head over to our Instagram, search #WildEarthFanOfTheMonth and comment your answer under the post. The monthly winner will be determined by the total quickest and most correct answers. We announce our winner at the end of every month. Tune in to Safari Live daily.
Looks like there's a queue lining up here for the waterhole while these elephants are drinking. We'll see if anyone's brave enough to come join them, or when these elephants do eventually leave, who's next to come to the water. Wow, what a scene. Got the zebras who are now brave enough. They've worked up the courage to come to the waterhole. The elephants are still deciding on the other side. And the giraffe has also been circling a few times, deciding when he's going to have a gap to come into the water. Rolf, you want to know why some of these animals don't get an upset stomach even though they're drinking water that, hasn't been through some kind of filtration system like we would get in as humans. Rolf, it comes down to the fact that these animals have much stronger stomachs in a lot of ways. They have adapted to drinking water like this. That is out here. They have different bacteria in their tummies than we do. So they don't need a filtration or need all the impurities removed. Not to say that there aren't diseases that they could still get from water that is very stagnant. You've got things like blue-green algae that can start growing, which can be not good for animals and that sort of thing. But in general, they have much stronger stomachs that don't need to have water that is filtered and purified like we do. Yes, Isaac, I agree with you. They are all very thirsty. I think just looking at those temperatures earlier, no wonder that there is an endless stream of animals coming to all the waterholes today, especially this one in Kenya. And they're not just having a short drink, they're all having a decent amount of time at the water. Yes, Isaac, I think in this little waterhole, if there was a crocodile in it, it would have been found by now. So the animals are lucky to not have to worry about a crocodile at this particular waterhole. The eland are making their way forward now. It's interesting, I think they were waiting for those zebras to move off, but still haven't quite mustered up the courage to come all the way with the elephant still there. Oh, coming closer. She's coming more and more forward. There we go, one's drinking. Let's see if the rest join her. Nathan, you want to know if eland are water dependent. Now, generally, no, they're actually not. They are able to survive in more drier areas and don't need to drink necessarily every single day. But I think if there is water available, they will drink it, especially in the heat with these high temperatures. They too also want to cool down and to keep hydrated, but they are generally able to adapt to more arid areas with a less frequent water supply. also Kenya compared to South Africa, there may be a different dynamic with the eland that we're looking at here compared to what we would usually find with the eland in South Africa. But we will leave these elephants and an eland to continue drinking, and looks like this elephant's now moved on from drinking to splashing himself and getting his body cooled down. And let's take a look at what's happening at Naledi. Looks like it's time for an elephant to drink here as well. Interesting to note how he's come to drink not out of the waterhole, but out of, there's obviously a fresh source of water in this little sort of mini water holder, and maybe the fresh water gets pumped too. can see around this well that there is quite a bit of elephant dung. So it must be a popular spot where these animals do come and drink. And this elephant's just having some fun now. Look at him take the water and spill it over the edge. Not really even putting it into his mouth anymore. So this elephant is still here. He's moved from putting the water into his mouth to putting it on the ground. He's been spraying it a bit and just looks like he's having some fun. Also clearly a nice little rest for his trunk. You can imagine that thing hanging off the front of your face the whole day. It must be nice to be able to rest it on something for a bit. So Victor, you want to know what makes an elephant's digestive system so poor. And I suppose you're comparing that to the likes of something like an impala or a ruminant that really is able to digest the plant material that they eat a lot more and extract a lot more nutrition. And the reason that the elephant's digestive system is so poor is because it's a hindgut fermenter. So compared to that of a ruminant that has a chambered stomach, that's able to digest more and more, extract more and more nutrition as it goes through the stomachs and the regurgitation where it chews its food. An elephant doesn't do that. So what happens in the likes of an elephant is that all the plant material goes in bulk into one tummy, it's not re-chewed in any way, so it doesn't get any finer or broken down any further. What the stomach can extract from that nutrition-wise, it does, and then it's excreted, and so that's the reason why it has a much poorer digestive system. Meaning that, of course, that they do have to eat a lot more to get the nutritional value that they need every day.
On Woodbury Lodge's episode of Destination Safari.
I'm so used to views I forget to mention it sometimes. Underfloor heating in the bathrooms, air conditioning, all those luxury items.
Dinner is a full three-course meal, starter, main and dessert.
Early morning drive, and on that drive you might see some slightly different things, some rare things.
Destination Safari, bringing luxury safari travel to the world. Right, so we will leave this elephant to continue here by the water. Let's see what's happening at Juma.
we have now hopped across to Juma, where we have found a giraffe also coming down to drink. Still behaving in the same way, so cautious, having a look around, head down, oh no, not quite yet, up again, and now he's gone down and committed. You can just see a few birds flying around him as well and landing there on his neck. Those would also be oxpeckers. Shara, yes, I agree with you. You say that it looks like every drink of water for them is a huge risk, and in a way it is. Um, for them, well, any animal, but in particular the giraffe, when they have to lower their whole body down like that, they are using all their focus and attention to be able to drink the water. They've got so much that they have to think of. They have to bend their legs, they have to lower their head, um, they have to look at the water, and so their senses, whereas they're usually so aware of what is going on around them, when they are drinking, those senses are all really focused on doing that particular task. So that is why they are so cautious. That is why they check so many times before they even lower their head, and they have big breaks in between just to make sure that there are no threats, there's nothing that they're missing. And in this waterhole, even unlike the one that was in Kenya, there very likely could be a crocodile here. So that's also an extra threat that they would have to be careful and check for. Camilla, indeed, you never do know if there is something in the water or not. So you always need to err on the side of caution. For those who are interested, Annie, I looked up your giraffe that was born with no markings in Bright Zoo in Tennessee, and very interesting. There is a picture of it, and it is very true. It is actually a reticulated giraffe, so that is a different species to the one that we have at the Waterhole at the moment, that we saw drinking now, and completely brown. So no markings like we usually see with the dark and light side. An interesting story. It was born there in captivity, and as far as they know, it is the only one like it on the planet. And it will be interesting to see how it grows up, and if if they notice any sort of disadvantage that it has. Of course, it being in a zoo means that it will be protected and be able to live without threat. But it's an interesting topic of conversation to consider, whether, if that did happen out in the wild, if there's a reason that that kind of giraffe with no markings don't survive. Similar to the likes of, let's say, that of a king cheetah, that is a very strong, dark, much darker than the normal cheetahs. But because of thermoregulation and just getting too hot, not being adapted so well to survive, they have sort of died out, or they're very rare to see living out in the wild. So I wonder if that's the same reason why we don't see giraffes without spots entirely in the wild. This giraffe's just moved off now, had his drink, and now starting to feed on some of the bushes. Alright, so while this giraffe continues to feed, let's go have a look back at old Dunya in Kenya. So it looks like these two elephants are still busy here. They have not left just yet. And that zebra got a bit of a fright. some more elephants have joined. The one nearest to us is now starting to splash himself a bit. So is the one in the middle. Oh, I absolutely love it when elephants do that. Oh wow, have a look at that elephant that's just joined in now. Can you see his left tusk? Actually looks as if it's growing completely backwards. The one pushing the other one up the way. Wow, he's having a proper mud bath now.
Not everyone gets excited to hear a leopard chuff, spot a pangolin, or see a real impala rat. But if you are wild about the wild, you can become part of a community of like-minded nature lovers and share authentic wildlife experiences with the world. Join the Explorers Club and you will also enjoy the many benefits that come with it too. WildEarth Explorers, it's in your nature.
These elephants are still enjoying themselves. Oh wow, have a look at that eland that's just come down and put her head down. Looks like she has a bit of a gash on her side. Seems to be an open wound there. Wonder what that could be from, whether it was a predator or... Looks very short and sharp and straight. She's actually just licked it now. Kawani, you say that this waterhole is drying out by the day. Well, I have to be honest, I haven't been viewing it over day after day after day, so I'll take your word for it, that the water level has dropped a bit. But I'm sure with a waterhole this size, they might actually be putting some water in just to keep it with a certain minimum level in. With the amount of animals that are coming to drink here, I think that they would have to be supplying some sort of minimum water level for everyone hydrated at this rate. You can see now with the cameras just zoomed in a little bit more to that very front eland. It looks like a younger one size. That gash that's there, it doesn't seem too fresh. It's a bit dark, although that could just be the camera and the lighting. So I think it is on its way to healing, which is good news. And I'm sure that eland will be absolutely fine. W17, you want to know about horns when they start developing. So with it are actually, and you can hear me now. Just been difficulties.
Sorry about the slight audio breakup there, everyone. I'll just wait to hear if we're good to go, and then I can respond to the question that W17 asked. Okay, great. So W17, you wanted to know, I think it was when eland's horns first start to grow. So once they're born, within the first sort of 7 months, you get to see the first little buds on top of the head. Similar, I guess, to that if you've ever seen a very young impala or even a young buffalo, when those first little bumps start forming. Both the male and the females do have horns.
Get ready for your daily dose of African wildlife magic. Be enchanted by the intimate moments shared by the animals as they drink, play, and interact in their natural habitat. With our daily wildlife videos, you'll experience the thrill of safari adventures without ever having to leave your seat. Let the wild adventure unfold right before your eyes. Africam, always live, always wild.
you of elephants now. You can hear all of the African hoopoo. One elephant to another seems like they have been the theme across all our waterholes today. Visited. But let's be honest, you can never get enough. Yes, Naomi, I completely agree with you. Elephants are the order of the day, and I have absolutely no problem with that. More elephants, the better. It just shows, though, how dependent elephants are actually on water, and they actively do search it out, especially with these hot temperatures. They really do need to be drinking multiple times a day. You can see this elephant actually is very similar to the one that I think it was at Naledi Dam, drinking not from the waterhole, but from the trough or the well where the fresh water is. They might move over to the waterhole to start splashing themselves, get their bodies wet or their trunks full of mud that they can splash on themselves. As you can see there, that's what he's doing. But quite picky when it comes to the water that they drink. They'd much rather drink the fresh and rather use the muddier water to splash on their bodies. Camilla, you say that you are so happy to be here. So happy to have you, Camilla. And looks like they are happy to be here as well. Just look at that elephant pull now, splash off. Absolute best time. Alright, so now that elephant is done with his drinking and Muddy Splash, we're gonna head to Okakuyo and see what's happening there. Looks like this is also a popular spot for some of the game in the area. Quite a few springbuck here walking around, and on the far side I actually can't make out what those are right now. Possibly some zebra drinking, kudu. I also see some wildebeest on the right walking off. Know that there are also gemsbok around here in this area. Lovely to see some of these springbuck even walking quite far into the water. Also clearly no need to worry about any crocs. They are very confident walking so far in. Oh, there we go. So those are some kudu. Looks like a group of females and 2 younger males. You can see those horns are still quite short. They've only got the first curl starting there. And in the distance behind them, gemsbok with those iconic straight horns. And then some zebra even further in the distance.
Those sounds just go straight through you.
So these kudu have finished their drink and are now moving off slowly. See, those zebras have also made their way. They were quite far in the distance when we arrived here. It looks like they are also on their way to the water. Those zebras have now made it to the water on the far side of the waterhole. The springbok are still actually all around the water at different points drinking. The kudu have moved off, and we'll have to wait and see if the gemsbok do decide to come a bit closer and get a drink of water for themselves. Steve D, you say very busy here today? Absolutely. I think all over we've actually had quite a few animals coming to the water. But here in particular, like I was saying right in the beginning, when I was asked about my favorite locations, Okikuyu is one of those places where really surprises me how much game and animals there are around, and they just seem to pop out of nowhere. You've got all these broken up white rocks that spread all over. You can see them there, and then such clear game pathways, and next thing you know, there's just animals coming and going and surviving in these harsh environments, but doing it so well. They're actually thriving. It's an incredible ecosystem, so different to what I am familiar with, but amazing to see how the animals of Africa really adapt and specialize to survive in all sorts of different climates. Lenny, you want to know why some female antelope have horns, some don't. That is a very good question. I do know, of course, that there are species that do and don't. For example, your eland, the gemsbok or oryx, both the males and the females do have horns, whereas the likes of kudu, impala,
they don't. So only your males have them. Now, there are a few different theories for that. Of course, when it comes to the species that only the males have horns, that could be linked to some sort of mating or display, where those horns aren't necessary in the females because they don't need to sort of compete with each other, whereas the males do. But then you ask the question, well, then why do the female of this mentioned both have horns? And yeah, to be honest, it's very difficult to say like there's one particular answer. But I do think it's obviously used for protection, to be able to protect their young. But yeah, it's a good question. It's one of those things that we find out here that we may not always be able to give an exact answer as to why not. It's obviously to do with genetics, well, and the way those animals are made so that they have adapted to where they're living. And in those particular cases, females and the males do have horns, whereas the ones that where the females don't have horns, it obviously hasn't been proven necessary in that particular species. But if I do get a chance to come back and do this again, then I will definitely try and have a look for some more information on that and see if there's any other more conclusive research that's been done since the last time I looked into it.
Stay up to date with the latest happenings at WildEarth. Discover what goes on behind the scenes and get a weekly recap of the best moments on the channel.
He's got it! And he's straight up a tree!
Sign up to be an explorer and receive our newsletter written just for you and sent straight to your inbox every week. WildEarth Explorers, a club for people who are passionate about nature.
Thank you for joining us and have a fantastic morning.
So as the springbuck continue to enjoy themselves here at Okukuyo, we're going to head to Compass Dam and see what's happening there. Looks like we have a big flock of flamingos here, interestingly enough. First I thought of these storks or egrets, but I did see the profile of one as it turned, and that overhanging beak is quite iconic. It looks like most of these flamingos actually have their heads tucked away. I can only assume they're resting. One or two moving around, but for the most part just standing still on one leg with their heads tucked into their wing. You can see one or two are preening themselves, using their beak to just clean through their feathers, making sure everything's in place. Miranda, you want to know how long a flamingo can stand on one leg for? Well, how about we watch and see how long one of the ones in front takes to change legs, but I assume it can be for a very long time, a good few minutes or so, before they have to change. I think the reason that they would change would be to try and warm up the other leg, or to dry it off a bit. I know that they tuck their leg up underneath their feathers to keep that leg warm, so I'm sure when the other leg is getting a little bit more chilly, then they'll swap over. But I don't know if there's a limit on the time that they could actually stand on one leg for. They clearly have very good balance. think similar to hippos. I'm not sure if they use their maximum time per leg, but apparently it is up to 4 hours that they can stand on one leg. Sorry, I didn't catch the name there, but you wanted to know where flamingos nest. They actually nest on the ground, if I'm not mistaken. They build up mud, whether it's on a sandbank or alongside a dam or something like that, and that is so they don't build nests like out of twigs and grass, like some of the other stalks and things. They actually build their nests on the ground. We do get two different types of flamingos, the lesser and the greater. From this distance, it's very difficult to say what these are, although the general impression that I get that these are greater just because of the lighter color, but that could just be the sunlight, the way it's falling on the birds. The greater tend to be a little bit lighter and whiter in color, and the lesser a lot more pinky orange. But it could very well be a mixed flock here as well. The question earlier about the nesting of flamingos was by Felt Orca. Sorry, I didn't catch that name, but that was who asked that question. So Steve wants to know if these flamingos are sticking so close together for protection. It's a good question. My initial instinct would be to say yes. I think that there's obviously safety in numbers, and if they are together like this in a group, it of course means you're less likely to be picked out should a predator come for you. Yeah, I think it also may be, okay, not now at 12 o'clock midday, but as the sun moves, so it may offer some shade or protection from the elements, the closer they are together. It may also be that in this particular dam, that the area which is best suited for them to stand on, the right depth, etc., is this portion of the water. Alright, well, it doesn't look like these flamingos are going anywhere, so we are going to take a look at what's happening at Tau Lodge. Ooh, there are some more elephants. Looks like they are on their way to the water, very excited. You can see the shake of the head, they've got a little bit of a hop in their step. Excited to come and drink today. Interesting to watch the elephants walk. There's obviously a particular spot that they are looking for. A few are on the way, just couldn't help. They're like, no, I want the water now. I don't care if I need to get somewhere else.
Get ready for your daily dose of African wildlife magic. Be enchanted by the intimate moments shared by the animals as they drink, play, and interact in their natural habitat. With our daily wildlife videos, you'll experience the thrill of safari adventures without ever having to leave your seat. Let the wild adventure unfold right before your eyes. Africam, always live, always wild.
What a special sight to see these elephants drinking here. The little one on its way that comes as well to have a drink.
Chatting around a fire is an ancient practice that has connected humanity for centuries, and we want to keep it alive in our modern age. As an explorer, you'll have access to intimate gatherings with our naturalists, fascinating guests, and experts where we share knowledge, insights, and stories around a crackling fire. Rediscover the power of connection. Sign up to be an explorer today and experience the magic of WildEarth's Fireside Chats.
Isn't this just a treat? Really shows that elephants are more than what they need to do, but they also enjoy having fun and playing. Especially the young ones. I'll have a look at that one in the front with his trunk. just see how they actually purposefully bring up more mud from the bottom when they do kick their legs like that to make the water extra muddy. Fiona, you say that there's nothing quite like a good mud bath, and I completely agree. I know these elephants will agree with you and that buffalo from earlier. Absolutely. Especially on a really hot day. I think it is just so enjoyable for them. Look at that one rubbing his bum. Just getting into the really hard to reach places. Like the mud bathing has come to an end. Slowly but surely they are moving off to the right. Looks like the ones still in the mud just can't get enough. Nature lover, you are loving the sounds, and I absolutely agree. I could just sit in silence and enjoy all the sounds of elephants in water, splashing, rumbles, sounds of some of the bird calls. All together, it's just lovely. Thank you, WildEarth, for tuning in. We've had a wonderful morning, having a look all over Africa at the different places and different waterholes that we have been privileged to be able to see so many different things today. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a lot of fun to see all the things, especially all the elephants today. Those giraffes right in the beginning were quite amusing. And now what a treat to end off with these ellies in the water. You can see some ostriches and things in the background. But absolutely everyone, thank you for having me. And we'll hopefully see you again soon.